First thing we're going to do is we're going to get started for every single sign. Number one, in 2026, the rat will do the worst. Does that mean every single rat's going to have a bad year? No. But 85 to 80% of you motherfuckers, if not higher, are getting hit. Now, I don't know what your birthdays are. So you're going to be in different life cycles. You're going to be in different personal years. But here's what it is for rats. If you press, you will lose. Look what Akash did. He married her in her enemy year. He met her in her enemy year. And, he's being embarrassed right now. When you do things in your enemy year, bad things happen as a result. If not in that year, then in the future years. You're planting the seeds in your enemy energy. So if you're born in 1996, if you're born 2008, 1984, 1972, 1960, 1948, all in the year of the rat, it's gonna be a bad year. And I'm not telling you this to put you in fear or to basically manifest it. I know there's a hole right in the road that you're about to hit. You think it's me manifesting something bad? The hole's already there. You're going like this. You're about to reach that hole with the fucking car. It's gonna fucking fuck your car up. I am doing you a favor by telling you, yo, there's trouble ahead. So if you're a rat, got about 85 days until February 17th, 2026. Get all your house in order. Be that fucking squirrel that has all those nuts ready for fucking winter. And just like Game of Thrones said, it's going to be a long fucking winter. Especially in you in crypto. Crypto was founded in a rat year. Bitcoin, the first crypto coin. The white papers came out in October 2000. What was it? October 2028. But it was released January 3rd, 2009. Bitcoin is a rat currency. Next year's a horse year. Uh-oh. And by the way, historically, Bitcoin's worst year, percentage-wise, was 2014, the year of the horse. I'm not making a mistake. You're making a mistake if you don't listen to me. And guess what? I'm being very forceful in saying it. So when it happens and then I start laughing at your dumb ass for not listening to me, don't say I'm mean. I warned you. OPEC was founded in a rat year. Might have some issues next year. So if we know oil is going to go down, what does that mean? Maybe a deflationary cycle is coming in 2026. Maybe gold peaked. Guys, ever think of that? And by the way, I did call the gold top 43.92, I believe, somewhere around that area. I called it. This is what I do. I called Zcash. No matter what happens on Zcash, I'm good for the rest of my life. And if you listen to me, you were too. And you guys might say I'm bragging. I've never shilled any other crypto in my life. Only one, Zcash. And the one I shilled, retired people, regardless at what it does at this point. Why? Because I use my numerology. So now you have to ask themselves, you have to ask people who say this is fake, why am I so successful? And for the people who say they're at my level, why are you numerologists broke? It is what it is. So if you're born in a rat year, it's time to hibernate. February 17th, no more big moves. Next, ox. People who are born in ox years in 2026, for a large percentage of them, 60, 65, going to be a tough year. Not as bad as rats, nowhere near that. But some of you guys are going to feel it. So if you're born 1973, 1985, 1996. It's not going to be the best year. Don't go too hard after February 17th, 2026. Next, Tiger. If you're born 1962, 1986, 1998, 1974. Yeah, skip that. I did the inverse, but it is what it is. If you're born in one of those years, now I fucked the clip up. I tried to be funny and I fucked the clip up. Let me do that again. If you're born 1962, 1974, 1986, 1998, and you're born in a Tiger year, you will do well in 2026, the horse year, because tigers and horses are good friends. Now, do I think Andrew Tate's going to do well? No, he's in the 4-year cycle. He's probably going to find himself behind bars again. But, not saying you should, but maybe that's that karma thing we talked about. Why else would an innocent man go to jail? Maybe it has something to do with your karma. Yeah, something to think about. But most people who are born in Tiger years will have beneficial 2026s. Now, let's say the world economy crashes and everyone's losing 50% and you guys only take a 5-10% hit. That's it. That's a winning year. So people who are Tigers, I do expect people born in those years to do well in 2026, a horse year. Next, Cat. If you're born 1975, 1986, fuck that one up. 1975, 1987, 1999. If you're born in a cat year, not a rabbit, that's an old wives' tale. That's a lie. If you're born in the cat year, you will have a neutral year in 2026, the year of the horse. Neutral signs. Not enemies, not friends. Guys, both are intelligent, but you think very, very differently, to say the least. Next, if you're born 1964, 1976, 1988, 2000, 2012, if you're born in a dragon year, well, it's neutral. The horse and dragon are neutral signs. They can respect each other, but they definitely have very different personalities. So I expect people born in those years to have neutral years. Next, if you're born 1977, 1989, 2001 in the snake year, you just had your year, baby. Snakes had their year. But I want to make this clear. The female snakes did a lot better than the male snakes in 2025. And the reason is very clear. You can't spell feminine without the word nine. That's why Candace Owens, born 1989, the year of the snake, a female, is dominating this game in 2025, the year of the snake. Because that is how the system works. That's why Andrew Tate was #1 in a Tiger year and he's a Tiger. And that's why Candace Owens is #1 in the snake year and she's a snake. And next year, I fully expect Myron Gaines, born 1990, year of the horse, to take over in a horse year, because that is how the game works. So if you're born in a snake year, 2026, after February 17th, the energy is not going to be the same. That's why you won't see me as loud. I went hard this year. I went hard this year because this is a snake year. I'm doing the biggest podcast I ever did this year. Because it's a snake year. I started this podcast this year. I never went live on YouTube like this before, at least not for 4 or 5 years. I've never done more podcasts than I did this year. But, the good times ain't gonna last forever. What does that mean? It's very simple. Snakes will probably have it 5th best in 2026, but the good times are over. So you might have a good year, but it ain't gonna be a great year. It is what it is. Next, horse. If you're born 1978, now a lot of people will be like, yo, Gary, you're born 78, but I'm born January 7th, 78, so that's still a snake year. See how that works? A lot of people want to put out there that I'm born in the horse year. Bro, do I have a body of someone born in a horse year? Horses are meticulous about working out. That's literally all they fucking care about. I am not a horse. But going with the system, next year is a one universal year. Ones are athletes. Next year's a horse year. So if you're going to go with the energy, yeah, you definitely got to get more active, including me and including you, because you want to go with the energy. You go with the flow, never against it. And that's how the game always works. Horses will dominate next year in 2026. So if you're born in a horse year, have everything planned before February 17th, 2026 starts. Because you only get one of those every 12 years. Think about it. When you're 60 years old, you've only had 5 of those years to go through. Only 5. Precious, precious energy that goes around and recycles once every 12 years. Next, goat. If you're born 1967, 1979, 1991, 2003. Horse and goat are good friends. So most of you gold diggers out there, because that's what a lot of goat women are. They're gold diggers. They use their looks to get what they want out of guys. And I understand a lot of women do that, but they just do it on a different level. Why? Because they're gorgeous. Women who are born in goat years, they don't need that looks maxing. They don't need makeup. They're literally natural beauties. Now, does that mean every woman born in a goat year is? Of course not. But I'm telling you, a higher percentage of people who are born in goat years are going to have those looks. Just go to Russia, go to Ukraine. You'll see women working at McDonald's over there who looks like fucking supermodels. Why? Because they're goat nations. That's why. I heard someone talking about people born in goat year in Russia and Ukraine don't have good genes because all the men died. Well, that might be true, but those women are freaking dimes. I would know. I married one. What do you thought? I was gonna settle for fucking some 5'6" for some fucking hoflation in America? You got life fucked up. You literally got life fucked up if you thought that might be you. That might be your buddy. No, that's definitely my haters. But it's not me. Okay? Like for instance, if I compare myself to you guys, I'm in the 1%, but there's people in the 0.1% who are living way better than me. But let me be real for a second. I wear this, this is my Phillies championship ring, got a Super Bowl ring, got a couple of basketball champions I earned. This I bought. But I only wear this to piss people off. Think I give a fuck about this? This only came because I go to Miami. This is only goes on when I do podcasts. I don't wear this stuff unless I'm going out. This is done to piss people off because some of you guys are so easily triggered. Yes, I wear a Rolex because it's a snake company and I'm a snake. No doubt about it. I have this Coach bag. It's a snake. I'm a snake. No doubt about it. But what do you think? I care about this? I don't care about this material stuff. I don't care about any of this. This is just a fucking prop. There's always going to be people who have more money than you. My buddy makes more money, made more money in a day than I'll probably make in my whole fucking life. I go to country clubs. I'm the poorest guy there. Well, next to the waiters and shit like that. I'm rich. But some of these people, no matter what I do, I'm not going to catch up. So I'm not going to play that game. But you know what life is? It's about that whole package. Like, for instance, I could laugh at you guys, but Logan Paul could laugh at me. Logan Paul could honestly call me a brokey. But if you look at Logan Paul and me, he's more athletic. He's more famous. But you know what? I still win because I married a virgin and he married a ran-through whore. Some people just live life better than others. And some people just don't want to drive used cars. Now, I'm not going to drive no Lambo. I'm not going to drive no Ferrari. I can afford 10 of them. I'm not going to do it. I don't like those cars. I just don't like them. I'm going to drive a Hyundai. The nicest Hyundai they have, 65,000. And I am happy with it. You know why? Because I was influenced by the right people. Here in Miami, every billionaire I know here has a Ferrari. Every single one. It's like a requirement. But I'm from Ohio. And the billionaire I know there who has more money than all these billionaires in Miami combined, he drives a Suburban. He drives a Chevy. If a guy worth 10 billion plus is okay driving a Chevy, I'm okay driving a Hyundai. This right here is a prop. That's all it is. And I play a role to piss people off so they fucking make comments and get the algo up. That's how the game works. But it's not just about wealth, but wealth is a big part of it. But that's not the only thing. I got healthy kids. Do you know how many people I know don't have healthy kids? There's nothing worse for a parent. I don't have that problem. Why? Because I didn't marry a whore. When you marry a virgin, you get healthy kids. Now, that might offend some of you. Doesn't change the fact that it's real. Next. And again, goats, most likely, again, people born 1967, 1979, 1991, 2023. I'm sorry, 2003. I'm slipping on some of these guys. You got to get better. I'm trying to get that. You know, even some of the greatest pitchers out there have a wild pitch every now and then. You try to get that down, but it is what it is. Let's try it one more time. Men and women born 1967, 1979, 1991, 2003. There you go. If you're born in a goat year, you will have one of the better experiences in a horse year 2026. Next, monkey. If you're born 1980, 1992, 2004, America founded 1776, a monkey year, you will have a neutral to a little bit of above average year in 2026, the year of the horse. Next, when it comes down to it, it's the rooster. Rooster, you have dominated this year. Roosters have done very, very well. Even a guy like Clav, he took over. And again, he doesn't understand this because he's low IQ. But he's a rooster, and this is a snake year. So it makes sense why roosters came up this year. Next year will not be as kind. Not saying it's going to be a bad year, but if you're born 1981, 1993, 2005, 2017, it's going to be a neutral year. 2026, the year of the horse. Now, there are some people who consider horses and roosters soulmates. You guys are out your freaking minds. You might have friends who are horses and vice versa, and there's a lot of similar qualities, but the rooster is way too aggressive for a horse personality. That's not the way it works. But if I was to say on a 1 to 10 how roosters would do, I'd probably give them like a 6. So, yeah, you could say a little above average to a neutral year. Next, dog. Now, see, I talk a lot of shit about John Zerka. We all know no matter what John Zerka says, no matter what he says, he took 2024 off because it was his enemy year. He listened to me. He took 2025 off because he was in the 7-year cycle. And we all know no matter what John says about numerology, astrology in 2025, even though he was giving $5 readings in 2024, you know what the thing is? If you're a GG33 bronze student, you know 5 times what John Zerka knows about numerology. I never taught him that much because I knew he would leak it. He's a fucking 3 dog. He's going to sing like a fucking canary. That's why I never taught him too much. If I actually taught him everything I would know, he would be fucking going out there giving $50 readings. But why would I want him to leak this shit? So I'd rather him saying Christ is king and this shit isn't real than actually giving accurate readings, because I don't want him fucking knowing everything I know. He's going to fucking leak it. So I'm not disappointed at all in John Zerka. It is what it is. But we all know John's coming back next year. Stop lying to people, Z. Stop lying to people. We all know you're coming back February 2000 or maybe March 2026. We all know this. Stop the fucking cap, bitch ass. Well, thank you. Thank you, producer. And I appreciate that, tag team effort over there. But in all reality, if you're born 1970, 1982, 1994, 2006, 2018, shout out to my son Andrew, who was born on the 28th. That's what I did with my kids. I'm a Capricorn snake. One of my kids is a Capricorn. The other one's a snake. They both have a piece of my personality. Both of them. I planned this out perfectly. If you're born in a dog year, and the most important year, 1946, because 1946 is when the best modern president in American history, my president, your president, Donald J. Trump, was born. And I expect Donald J. Trump to mug people in 2026. He will have one of the best years ever. People are going to actually love this man again. Listen, I know Trump and the Trump family have made billions off crypto. The Trump family has made a lot of money off crypto since he's been president. And I know people say that's unethical. Let's talk about that. Trump made definitely a couple billion in crypto since he's been president. And he hasn't been president that long. And a lot of people are talking about this is stealing. So let's compare what Donald Trump does. He doesn't steal any taxpayer money. He doesn't give people taxpayer contracts. He doesn't funnel any of that money to his family like every other fucking president. He found a way to make money with him being in power that isn't illegal, isn't stealing. Now, is he profiteering from being in the White House? Yes. The difference is he found a way to do it without stealing from you, the taxpayers. That is the difference. So yes, Donald Trump is enriching himself with crypto since he and his family have been back in power. The difference is Obama was straight up stealing this shit. You think he sent that fucking $1 billion to Iran in unmarked bills without getting some kickbacks? Are you out your fucking mind? The Clintons, they were literally political whores. Anyone who wanted the peace could buy them. They were for sale for anybody. It doesn't matter if it was the Bushes or anyone before or after. They were all crooks because they stole from you people. Donald Trump is making money without actually stealing. Big difference. Not to mention, Donald Trump is going to do what needs to be done. Venezuela is a problem. I'm not going to lie to you like all these conservatives. We need to bring democracy to Venezuela. We need to do this and that. No. America tried that. Hugo Chavez, who was born in a horse year. The American government tried to take him out in 2002, the year of the horse. The American government, because I wasn't around back then, so they couldn't copy and paste me. They tried to take a horse out, Hugo Chavez, in 2002, a horse year, and they failed. They absolutely failed because the country rose up to save their precious leader. A guy who took one of the richest countries in the world in the 1980s and turned it into a fucking back alley whorehouse in 2025. But you know, even though the CIA failed, and let me make this clear, whenever the U.S. military needs to make an intervention, whether it's been in the past in Iraq, whether it's been in the past in Panama, it doesn't matter. Whether it's going to happen right now in Venezuela, that is a failure of the CIA. Because when the CIA fails to do their job, we have to go in with the U.S. military. The U.S. military is our last result. If the CIA was actually effective in doing what they should be doing, instead of worrying about gender equality or rainbow Skittles rights, if they were actually doing what they should be doing, overthrowing nations, maybe we wouldn't have to put our boys at risk. Anytime the U.S. has to invade a nation, unless it's a world war, anytime it's one of these smaller nations that the U.S. has to invade, it's because the CIA failed year after year after year. And what else do you expect? The CIA was founded in 1947, the year of the pig. And this is 2025, the year of the snake. So because the CIA failed, we have to put our boys and women and men at risk in war because the CIA didn't do their job. And for all the people who are saying, yo, we don't have to invade. No, we actually do. Venezuela has a lot of oil. Now, the oil they have is not quite as pure or easily refinable as the Saudis, so it's not really competition. But if we control those oil fields and make sure we don't actually need the oil money, we just need to make sure the oil is sold in American dollars. That's it. As long as the oil is sold in American dollars, we don't need to steal the money. Let the people in Venezuela have it. As long as it's in American dollars and the petrol system goes, we don't care who makes the money. So for the Americans who always want peace, understand this. Yes, the Iraq War, the way George W. Bush told it, was a lie. They didn't invade for WMDs. They knew they didn't have fucking weapons of mass destruction. I knew he didn't have weapons of mass destruction in 2002, 2003. But I knew it was going to happen. Why? Because Saddam was born in the year of the ox, and 2003 was the year of the goat. Enemy signs. Just like I knew in history, Hitler was born 1889, year of the ox, and he started losing the war in 1943, the year of the goat, Stalingrad, Kursk. It was over. It was a defensive war which was going to collapse in 1945. I knew history. I applied it with numerology and astrology. And that's what happened. Just such a shame when people in this world will believe in magic men in the sky with no evidence. But when you actually present information like this in an articulate way, which people can research and understand themselves, they'll call you a fraud. No, I'm not a fraud. You're just a low IQ moron. I'm articulating this just fine. Are you understanding what I'm saying, Bills?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think most people in the chat are?
Yeah.
Yeah. They keep toting, man. I get it is what it is. We'll get to the super chats right after I'm done with this. People born in 1982, 1994, 2006, 2018 will dominate in 2026, year of the horse, because dog and horse are best friends, because dog is the 11th sign, horse is the 7th, 7 and 11 are soulmates in numerology and astrology, and that's why you have a store called 7-Eleven all over the world, which both, if you spell it out 11 and you spell out 7, you have the word Eve in the middle. Numerology and astrology, baby. Last, pig. Yeah, you got your ass whooped this year, pig. You got your ass whooped this year, swine. Megan Thee Stallion got dragged through the media. Wes Watson got dragged through the media. Just like I said they would. A certain podcaster got destroyed this year. I won't mention who. People cry, so I won't mention who. But they got destroyed this year, as I said they would. When it comes down to companies, Spirit filed for bankruptcy twice. That's a big company. Hooters filed for bankruptcy, big company. And I know people in the real world. And if you're born 1971, 1983, 1995, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle this year. But when February 17th, 2026 hits, you're going to be like that beach ball underwater, going to rise up. The bad year is over, and now it's the rats' turn to get hit. And next year, 2027, it'll be the ox's turn to get hit. And then in 2028, it'll be the tiger's year to get hit. Just like Andrew Tate, a fucking tiger, got his eye fucked up in 2016, his enemy year. Just a coincidence, isn't it, Bills? Always is. Always is.